The Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course is known as one of the toughest facilities in the nation. Most definitely one of the toughest on the USF Pro Championship schedule. It's a driver's track for sure. Qualifying is always key, but the drivers have to stay out of trouble. Great day here, ladies and gentlemen, at Mid-Ohio. My name is Rob Howden, the voice of the USF Pro Championship. The sun is shining, blue skies and clouds. It's going to be a fantastic day. Already a great USF Pro 2000 race in the books. We're rolling in right now to a USF Juniors race, followed right up by USF 2000. Joining me right now, Timmy Carell from J. Howard Driver Development in the USF Juniors program. Big day yesterday, top 10. Tell me about your run yesterday.
So yesterday we started P13 after a semi-optimal qualifying. We were running in P3 in the warm-up, so we had big hopes for the qualifying, but just couldn't put it all together. So started P13, made my way up a few positions, and then the rain just stopped. The track was super dry, so we had to pit in for dry tires. Once we did that, we were at the back of the field because we pitted too late. And then we just had to work our way up, fought with a lot of people. I had so many great battles with so many of the drivers in the field. Ended up P10, P9 with penalties after, so it wasn't a bad result starting from P13.
Yeah, anytime you're a rookie, you're knocking down top 10s, it's big. It's been on and off, right, with the weather. We had rain, we had dry. Same thing in testing on Thursday. Fully dry today for this race, and rubber's going down. Indy Next will be on track. Before you guys go out, IndyCar's on track. Are you ready for that kind of rubber?
Yeah, I mean, we've had talks in the J. Howard tent about how the rubber is going to affect our driving, the lines, where we're supposed to make our passes, how we can run around the outside now since they're laying so much rubber. So definitely keeping all those things under my book to hopefully make a lot more passes this afternoon.
Into the second half of the season now, how more comfortable are you now than you were maybe at NOLA to start the season?
Yeah, I mean, at NOLA we couldn't run 2 of the races already because of my concussion after the race 1 incident. So for now, I mean, we've been working our way up the field the entire season, and I'm just really grateful to have this amazing car and this amazing team to just help me and propel me through the season. You
know, you've got a good teammate in Liam McNeely. He always shows you some good data. Do you feel you were able to pull something from what he learned in race number 1?
Yeah, of course, and we're great friends in the tent, so we talk a lot about race strategy and how we can improve our lap times a lot. So it's really great having him as one of the leaders of the championship just to help me improve.
Best of luck today.
Thank you.
Timmy Carell, folks, for J. Howard Driver Development. Top 10 yesterday. Going to try to do the same thing here today in race number 2. The whole J. Howard program, just a fantastic team. He mentioned family. All the friends are underneath the team as well. We had a chance to talk to J. Howard earlier this weekend. One of the great features of this weekend's event at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the Tatus Grand Prix, is the fact it's the first time that we've had all 3 levels, USF Juniors, USF 2000, and USF Pro 2000 together on an IndyCar weekend. Obviously, the guy to talk to right now is J. Howard. You have cars and drivers in all 3 series. What does it mean for you, your drivers, and the team to be at a weekend here, all 3 series, with IndyCar?
Yeah, ultimately, you know, the dream for all these kids is to make it to IndyCar. So to be racing here in front of all the team owners and having that opportunity to try and show everyone what they're made of and shine, that's what it's all about. So thanks to Anderson Promotions for getting all 3 series on the schedule with IndyCar, because ultimately what driver doesn't want to be here racing in front of IndyCar?
For USF 2000, USF Pro 2000, they're kind of used to it. They've been here before at these IndyCar weekends. The juniors only ran one at Barber. Do you have to deal with the kids a bit different? Is there a different approach? Are they a little even more focused maybe because IndyCar's here?
Yeah, I think they're probably a little more nervous, but it's good for them, you know. I think we have a good balance of the juniors being able to be away from the eyeballs, and then as the season, we get obviously mid-season now, they're all a little more comfortable, and the timing's good for them to be here in front of IndyCar. But yeah, depending on the driver's level of experience and where they're at in their development, requires something a little bit different from me. So just trying to manage all of that.
You guys started off the weekend actually on a high note, as we know, right? Liam McNeely on the pole for race number 1 for juniors. Evagoras Papasavas, who won with you here last year, on the pole for the first USF 2000 race. How much does that play in with your drivers here? That's big to get 2 poles in the 2 programs here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, it's amazing. We obviously every weekend hope for that kind of start. So we've had a lot of success here, particularly. I think for me, I remember as a driver, this place being really tricky in small little details, very small details that make quite a big difference. So, boys have been doing a good job, just executing, and so we just got to keep doing that. Pole's great, but the wins are what we really want. So.
Hey, one thing, we talk about all the levels, right? The R3, Indy Next, IndyCar. You've had some success, a bit of a driver factory moving guys forward. One of your biggest success stories, of course, Christian Rasmussen. You won here, you won the championship in 2000, the championship in Pro 2000. You're still connected with him. But you must be proud watching what he's doing with Ed Carpenter Racing and IndyCar now.
Yeah, it was, we've had other drivers that have come through the program and, made to IndyCar and whatever, and it's all good, and I love seeing that for all the drivers. But with Christian, it's definitely a little more special. He got, his bags were packed in Denmark, and he came over, his parents were like, hey, is it okay for him to live with you? We're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so for 4 years, watching him do his thing and then make it to IndyCar. It's pretty special watching him now, and just he's like family. So. And
then the 500, like where he was up there, elbows up, man, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. There was I had great seats in turn 2 watching, and I said, and I had my boy with me watching, and he's watching everything, like just glued to Christian the whole time, and I was thinking to myself, man, I wish I had a radio right now just to talk to him, but he done an amazing job. I mean, did exactly everything, I expected of him. I think there were some people that were surprised how well he did. I was not surprised, but really, proud of him, and hopefully we can get some more up there, up the ladder, just like Christian's done.
I'll tell you, folks, under this tent, there's so many different storylines, right? Yours, Jay Howard from USF2000 to the Indy 500. Now Christian Rasmussen, 2000 to the Indy 500. You mentioned Hudson. Maybe he's the next Howard we'll see in the Indianapolis 500.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
Drivers in the USF Juniors program kicking things off with their first race yesterday. All those events we had in those tough conditions, the rain, the juniors, of course, with the rain early, then the change over to the slick tires as the track dried up. Today, much different for these drivers here. It's a beautiful day. We have a little more cloud cover here right now. Still lots of blue skies. But again, time for these drivers to wrap up their Tatis Grand Prix here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. A fantastic field of drivers here, 23 strong, at least one of them making their debut here this weekend as well. Back-to-back races for you here on the broadcast, as we say hello to those of you who are tuned in on the YouTube channel for the USF Pro Championships, or potentially on your mobile app, watching from wherever you are around the country and around the world. My name is Rob Howden, joined by the voice of Mid-Ohio, John Phippen. We'll jump right now, though, into the 23-car starting lineup as the drivers roll out onto pit lane to get things underway. Number of drivers you see there with fresh tires, other potentially using those in the race yesterday afternoon. Starting 23rd will be the rookie driver J.T. Hoskins, his first weekend here in USF Juniors competition. He'll start 23rd for Jay Howard Driver Development. Up to row number 11, and it will be Michael Succo for VRD Racing out of Alabama in the number 10, starting 22nd, alongside Hudson Potter in the Jay Howard Driver Development, number 4. Row 20, or rather row 10, 19th and 20th on the track. It is Diego Guillo from Texas for Zanella Racing on the outside in the number 12. And the Mexican driver Rodrigo Gonzalez in the number 20 on the inside starting 19th. Both those drivers rookies. Up now to row number 9, Patricio Gonzalez for D-Force Driver Development, starting right there near his brother Rodrigo. Patricio in the number 19, starting in the 18th position. Alongside him, watch for Joao Vergara to work forward here in the exclusive Autosport number 90 machine. A talented young driver coming through the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series. Vergara in the 90 starting 17th. Up to row number 18, Evan Cooley out of Illinois. Pole sitter in USF2000 at Indianapolis earlier this year. A car accident sidelining him from the last event at VIR. Good to have him back here once again. Evan Cooley, the rookie for exclusive Autosport, the number 91 starting 16th alongside Timothy Carell for J. Howard Driver Development. Timmy in the number 8 machine starting 15th. Joined us in the pre-show. Excited to get back. Finished 9th in race number 1 yesterday. Looking to get himself back up in to the top 10. Keep an eye out for the driver starting on the outside of row number 7. And that number 92 Corpe exclusive Autosport machine from San Antonio, Texas. That's Jack Jeffers. Finished 2nd yesterday to improve himself in the points. 6th in the championship standings coming into this race here. Jeffers for exclusive starting on the outside of row number 7. And on the inside, fellow Texan Brady Golan for D-Force Racing in the number 18. Both those drivers 2nd year USF Juniors pilots. Up to row number 6 now. 2 times a runner-up in the Skip Barber Formula Race Series Championship. Joshua Leonel out of Texas for D-Force Racing. In the number 15, starting in the 12th spot, his teammate Leandro Juncos, the rookie in the number 17, will be rolling off from P11. Working our way now up into the top 10. Leonardo Scorpioni in the number 55, the Floridian for Zanella Racing, starting just inside the top 10, outside of row number 5. Have a good year so far for the rookie of Scorpion. Some highs and lows, but flirting with a top 10 in the points championship. He'll start that number 55 on the outside of row number 5. Alongside him, the Canadian Aiden Ingrata, a top driver in American karting, Canadian karting champion as well. Ingrata for J. Howard Driver Development in the number 7. Looking to power his way forward from P9. G3 Argyros in the number 63, the Californian for J. Howard Driver Development. Posted a couple of podiums here in the last couple of races. The number 63 starting in the 8th position. Right now, 7th place in points in the Positive Energy J. Howard Driver Development machine. He'll start alongside young Christian Cameron in the VRD Racing. Number 70, another one of our rookies here this weekend, Christian Cameron rolling off from P7. Up to row number 3, starting 6th, the driver who put on a show yesterday, won both in juniors and USF 2000 from Hoboken, New Jersey. The point leader now here in the program, got a solid lead in this championship here. Max Taylor in the number 33 for VRD, starting on the outside of row number 3, trying to keep that streak rolling. He'll start alongside Inter-MS driver Ariel Elkin from Israel. Elkin, 2 wins at Barber Motorsports Park back in April. The number 25 driver starting on the inside of row number 3. Going to row number 2, it'll be Elkin's Inter-MS teammate Augusto Soto Sharipa in the number 24. A win at VIR. He'll try to bounce things back right now. Soto Sharipa rolling in here. P5 in the championship. Work to be done, but fast race car as he has shown throughout this year. Alongside him, though, Bruno Ribeiro from D-Force Racing, the Brazilian. Lots of outright speed for Bruno. Was battling it out yesterday with Sebastian Weldon when contact was made. Ribeiro in that number 16 machine, 10th place in points. Looking for the breakout victory that could come today here at Mid-Ohio. Engines have fired down on pit lane. 23 drivers set to go. As I said, let's look at the driver starting on the off pole. You'll know the name for sure. Sebastian Weldon in the number 98 Gamebridge machine for VRD Racing. Weldon was the point leader for majority of the year, but a couple of DNFs at VIR and then one yesterday. 3 DNFs in the last 4 races. The only other one that wasn't a DNF was a race win by 0.04 of a second over Jack Jeffers. Weldon looking to rebound here right now as he is now 28 points out of the lead from Max Taylor. The driver they'll chase, though, when they come around into turn number 1. Pole sitter is Liam McNeely, the young British driver who finished well last year in the GB4 category in Europe. 3 wins in GB4 and has shown great speed here. A winner on the season 2 times already. And a driver, rather 1 win already as he won at Nola Motorsports Park. Been very consistent throughout the year. 2nd place in points for Liam McNeely. He'll look to see if he can't snag a race win. An issue on the pit lane right now for G3 Argyros. Can't get that car fired. They finally do. He'll get rolling. But otherwise, it'll be McNeely and Weldon on row 1. Ribeiro and Augusto Soto Chiripa on row number 2. John Phippen, again, we've got 3 talented broadcasters out on the racetrack to help us call the coverage here of this 20-lap main event here. Race number 2 for USF Juniors. Why don't you introduce your crew?
Let's give a quick introduction to them. Rusty Bell, they're up in the keyhole right in front of you.
Making their way down the straightaway now. I pick them up out of turn 1. They make their way up the straightaway into the 180-degree keyhole turn, then down the 3,000-foot straightaway. I'm in just past the kink that's in the middle of that straightaway, and they make their way into the best passing area, hardest braking area, and top speed of the racetrack here as they make their way down into the S.
That's where Tom Michaels picks them up. Good afternoon, Tom.
Good afternoon, John, and everybody here in Mid-Ohio as we watch him come through turn 4. It's a hard right-hander, a little bit uphill into a left-hander in turn 5. That goes over the top of the hill, down to the bottom of a hill in turn 6. You turn right, head to the back part of the race course.
That's where they pick up Steve Conley. Hey, Steve.
Hey, John, and that is where the cars are right now, is coming over the hill in turn number 8, which is a straight shot down to that yellow curbing in turn 9. That's where they get on the brakes and try to get right up against that red-white curbing. It is a passing opportunity, but it's not the easiest passing opportunity. You have got to judge risk versus reward, and that's what we saw yesterday between Sebastian Weldon and Bruno Ribeiro. So who's going to make that move today? Well, we'll find out. I've got it all covered here from turn number 9 and 10, which is Thunder Valley here at Mid-Ohio.
Lots of action for sure coming out of Steve's corner. We saw it in there, and we'll see more of that here in the race. Another 20-lap event set to go here for you as drivers working their way down to the carousel. The pace car has worked its way into pit lane. Now we'll put it in the hands of Liam McNeely. 20 laps for you here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to go racing for the back end of the doubleheader for USF Juniors. The championship will go from here to Road America, then a triple header at Portland. Work to be done. Onto the front straightaway, and we are at it. Green, green, green. And the race down into turn number 1. How about 4 wide, deeper in the back of the pack as drivers trying to advance quickly. Liam McNeely, good run through here. Thus far, side by side, easy, good through the at least entry of turn number 1. They'll work their way back out of 1, climb that hill back up into turn number 2. The downhill, off-camber keyhole, one of the legendary corners in American motorsports. And look at the run from the outside. That is Bruno Ribeiro trying to see if he can't get the big run and potentially lead here early. They'll come through the corner. McNeely looks good from the get-go, but here they come running. Yeah, McNeely's got the spot, but side by side for Ribeiro on the outside, Weldon on the inside. It'll all come to a head when they come back down. McNeely comes across the track. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack. Ribeiro's going to try to run the outside. We may be 3 wide coming through the corner. That middle driver wisely pulls out of it, and one driver's going to drop a wheel. 2, a couple drivers further off track, and that's a spin for Christian Cameron. Issues coming up the hill to turn number 5. Christian Cameron goes around, 2 drivers off, and I believe that's as well one of the, I think that's Evan Cooley, I think, off at turn 5 as well, top of the hill. So potential issues there. Let's, I assume we're going to go to yellow here, guys. We'll come to you guys on the racetrack momentarily. Let's wrap things up as they come through. The full course yellow is going to come out, but they will likely allow them to race for a number of corners here. Let things settle out. Full course caution now coming out as they'll work their way back through. So an issue on the opening lap coming through 4 and 5. 2 drivers off in 4, 2 off in 5. Tom, what did you see?
Well, there were a couple of cars that got off originally who one of them just barely got off there into the grass. The other one got over into the dirt. Then we had a big schlemazel up here at the top of turn 5. One of those cars, I believe that's the 91 car of Evan Cooley, just getting away. We also saw the car of Christian Cameron, who had spun up here. But the number 17 machine, this belonging to Leandro Ocos, it's got a broken right front suspension. So it's not going anyplace until the crew gets out here.
Thank you, Tom. We actually have a bit of a replay to look at this. As you can see, the machine of Juncos, who is stuck up on the top of the hill there. We do have a replay of what happened. A lot of chaos, as we know. You'll watch a couple drivers go off back part of the racetrack. Watch for Cameron to come up the hill here. He'll try to move back to the inside. I think he tried to come across, and there was a car already there. That one indeed was Juncos. And there's the contact. Jack Jeffers involved as well. Jeffers was trying to go to the outside, and I think he actually may have got hit by his teammate. Cooley is into pit lane. Jack Jeffers able to continue to see drivers right. He's going to be at the tail of the field And indeed, Cooley into pit lane. A number of drivers involved there. It seemed to me like Leandro Juncos was on the inside, Cameron kind of on the outside, and was coming back across to driver's left to get into the apex. Probably didn't leave quite enough room, and the contact happened there. If we can see that replay again, if that's a possibility, let's have a look at it here. We kind of had that first look at it, so we know what's going to happen in the back. Watch down the bottom here. Juncos is going to go down to the bottom. Christian Cameron is going to come back across. You'll see that happen here a little further back. There's the rotation. Nowhere to go for Jack Jeffers. He makes the move. He's trying to come through, and he's actually going to make contact. Yeah. So that is left rear contact for Jeffers, and I don't know if he has damage or not. I think he may be fine. Everybody, there we go. We just got an update from one of our crew on the racetrack. No damage to the number 92, and I'll tell you, John, that is a little bit of luck there for Jeffers. Boy, he was trying to come around to clear and just got hit in that left rear.
Yeah, exactly right. In fact, everybody continued except Leandro Juncos. He's the only one who's stuck as Christian Cameron came by. Evan Cooley came by as well. And let's see, here's Jeffers.
Yeah.
And it looks okay. Looks to be straight.
Yeah, looks to me good here. He just drove by us. And it's the oddest thing, right? As we all know when it comes to open wheel racing, sometimes that contact happens and all of a sudden it shears off. Other times you'll see hard contact, and for some reason, whatever the angle of deflection was, there's no damage to the race cars, because that easily could have been, you think about the way the kind of spin happened, it could have been the left rear for Christian Cameron, then he got hit on the right rear, and the fact that he was able to pull away and continues on the racetrack kind of boggles the mind sometimes. But again, tough ones for both those drivers, Jack Jeffers and Evan Cooley. They did not qualify well. As we said, they were near the back of the pack. Jeffers was 14th, Cooley 16th. A lot of times you're further back outside the middle pack, you get yourself in those issues that could happen, right? Obviously, Christian Cameron was up there in 7th spot. Leandro Juncos was in 11th. They're all kind of vying for that position, and we've seen many passes and much contact like that, John, coming up to turn number 5 when drivers really just don't give enough room. Everybody's trying to jam the car in there. 2 wide, 3 wide, it can happen, but you got to hold your lane knowing where you are coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, we saw Cooley come into the pit lane, and he is still being shown a lap down, so I don't know whether he got back out and he's trying to catch up, or if he retired to the paddock with more damage than they were able to deal with here.
Getting an update, John, potential avoidable contact penalty for the number 17 of Juncos. That would not be surprising, diving up the inside. And again, that's that move. So many cameras available here as well. So the obviously race control up there with Joel Miller, a veteran driver and a race winner. Charlie Kimball, one of our race stewards here this weekend. He's won here in IndyCar, for goodness sakes, right? Yeah, and had, of course, a fantastic career in Europe as well on the way to Formula One. So we have the right people up there. Bo Barfield's up there too. So they're having a chance to look at all these videos. And again, they're obviously saying that Juncos tried to make the move, maybe a little over-ambitious up the inside. Yep. And then the contact was made when Cameron was coming back over. So good for Cameron to be able to stay on the racetrack. He's the last driver on the lead lap right now, but awesome to see that he will continue. So it looks like we're likely going to be able to go back to green flag racing pretty soon. One more time around. Let's set things up for you because we did get a chance to race for almost a full lap. Liam McNeely takes the lead. Bruno Ribeiro, good job for him up into 2nd spot. Sebastian Weldon into 3rd. Ariel Elkin in 4th. Augusto Soto Sharipa in 5th. Max Taylor 6th. Aiden Ingrata now up into 7th. 8th spot is G3 Argyros. 9th, Brady Golan. And 10th is Rodrigo Gonzalez. He started 19th. He'll go +9. As Evan Cooley back into pit lane once again. Not a bad call. Bring him back into pit lane, see if there's any adjustments that need to be made, or just check on the damage from the contact there. Again, lots of action. It happened over in turn number 5, but a potential update. Steve, what do you got over in turn 9?
Well, something underneath that, under that caution as they were coming, the field was coming back through here in turn number 9. The pace car and Liam McNeely pulled away, but Ribeiro and Weldon basically stopped side by side as they got ready to come into the corner. Kind of looked at each other and then started to pull away. So I don't know if there's something going on between those two, but they kind of jacked the field up here in turn number 9 under that yellow.
Well, Steve, you remember yesterday when the two of those drivers got together down in turn number 9, Ribeiro making a move to the inside of Weldon on the entry to turn number 9, which you really have to be definitive if you want that pass to be done. You almost have to be side by side or past them. So what do you think, Steve? Maybe a little chatter back and forth on each other, like, hey, we're running together, let's make sure we don't take each other out again?
I would say that is a very good possibility as they still had a lap to go here before we go back to green. But it was a very interesting situation because they were single file, and then Ribeiro just kind of pulled up alongside Weldon, and they jacked up the field, as I said. But now they are single file coming through turn number 9. Pace car starts to pull away with the lights off, ready to go green.
As part of the series, I would like them to have that conversation in the paddock.
Yes.
Maybe last night or earlier today, not while they're on the racetrack under yellow, because, of course, you stack up like that, somebody could get into another incident. Nonetheless, will we see more fireworks here in USF Juniors? Not surprising, a little bit of an issue on the opening circuit. Ideally, with a single file start, we'll be able to get some green flag racing in. They'll put lap number 4 in the books when they come back around. The pace car is off. Time to go racing once again. McNeely, Ribeiro, Weldon, Elkin, and Soto Sharipa will be the top 5 when they come back out. Drivers have been told in the driver's meeting to punch off as soon as they make that right-hander, the final right-hander coming out of the carousel, and indeed they go. Racing is underway. McNeely's going to lead him to 1, but we're going to get an attack quickly around the outside. Look at this move here from Ariel Elkin around the outside of Sebastian Weldon, and he may be able to take that spot when they come up into turn number 1. I'll tell you this, when it comes to Elkin, you do not need to push that guy. He will be as aggressive as he needs to be, and he makes the move to the inside. Book it. He is through. And it's Elkin to P3. Weldon goes back to 4th, and now he has the other Inter-MS driver, Augusto Soto Sharipa, on the charge. He's right there as well. Weldon looking to try to come back on Elkin. I'll tell you, McNeely running defensive here on the opening lap as well as he's trying to hold off Ribeiro. Ribeiro back to the outside. Last of the deep breakers, great run to the inside there, and side by side goes Weldon. Weldon back to the inside. He'll get back by. Oh, but maybe not. Look at this. Elkin roll in the top of the corner, back down to the bottom. They're going to be side by side again, coming through turn number 6, and Weldon finally gets it done. And John, there's a good example of a pass that happens at Mid-Ohio. Oftentimes it's not 1 corner, it's 4. So literally that happened through 4, 5, and didn't get completed into turn number 6.
Exactly, and Soto Sharipa right there to pick up the pieces if those two came together. So Elkin and Soto Sharipa doing a great job, those two teammates up into the top 3 now.
I'll say this, obviously an incident in the opening lap. Let's hope some of these drivers had a chance to watch the pro drivers earlier today. USF Pro 2000 went green to checker. An absolutely fantastic drive for all those involved. Some great racing from 7th, 8th on back. They were nose to tail for the entire race. That's what we like to see, and hopefully we'll get the same. Hopefully we'll have the issues out of the way here. But deeper in the pack, we'll go side by side coming through turn number 1. Why not? They're going out. I think that's Jack Jeffers trying to work his way forward there. Jeffers made a move to the inside, likely got a couple of spots. There's a driver in a championship fight for sure, and he knows he's in recovery mode trying to work his way back forward. There's Jeffers, through a couple of the Jay Howard cars, I believe Hudson Potter being one. So they're working their way down the back straightaway right now. The gap coming across the line was a half a second for Ribeiro as McNeely trying to pull away a little bit. Remember, he comes in here second place in points, back by 25 points. That is it from Max Taylor. Taylor currently running in the 6th spot. Long way to go here, 20 lapper for these drivers here, and indeed 5 laps down. So we've hit the quarter mark here after the issues early on. Drivers will work their way back down into turn number 7, 8 through Madness, over to turn number 9. Finally settling in. We'll see how the battles play out. And one of the things, John, I tell these drivers all the time, hey, listen, if you're up front, take it easy for the first couple laps. This racetrack being a driver's track, the field will spread out. There's not the big draft that you'll have at a Road America or a VIR that brings some of the slower cars back to you. If you're fast, just let it all happen. Eventually, you'll be able to stretch away. You'll know the battles you'll be in.
Yeah, the guy to watch, too, is the yesterday's hero, Max Taylor, all over the back of Augie Soto Sharipa. Taylor, with those back-to-back wins yesterday, he's got a chance to repeat that today because the USF2000 race is right after this one as well. But Max Taylor moving up into the points lead with that. Liam McNeely was the biggest mover. He was 4th coming into yesterday's race. He's 2nd now, admittedly 25 points back, but McNeely looking strong. If he stays out front, he's going to make that gap even smaller.
Rusty, how's it look, the battle for P1?
The P1 battle is about 3 car lengths by me. I've been watching that battle behind that John's talking about with Max Taylor. All 3 of those cars in that spot, less than a car length apart under braking.
Yep, pretty much equidistance. Start first, get all the way back to the number 7 car in 8th place. They work their way down through 6th up through 7th.
And over the hill in turn number 8, it is opened up for McNeely, but Bruno and Ribeiro and Weldon are about a half a car length, and then about 5 back to that battle that you're talking about with Elkin, Soto Sharifa, and Max Taylor. It's up through Thunder Valley. Taylor tried to take a peek to the outside heading through 10 and stay single file through 11.
One of the interesting things for every driver here when they come into the race, they have their own storyline, right? Their own position of where they are. Max Taylor is a driver who has changed. He's matured so much from last year where we would have seen him in a number of incidents. He's using the word patience a lot. He's understanding the race that needs to be played out. Here he is now, having done a great job throughout the season. He was in a fight with Sebastian Weldon for the championship. A couple of DNFs, 3 in the last 4 races, or 3 in the last 5 races. 3 in the last 4 races, pardon me, let me correct myself, for Weldon. This is going to be vintage Max Taylor. We're going to see him. Does he have what he said? Is the patience going to be there? He has a 25-point lead right now. He's never been in this kind of a position ever in his USF Pro Championships career. 3 years running in this series. How does he handle the fact that he's not running up front right now? And the guy who's second in points is, up front of him in P1, but knowing that all he needs to do is keep moving forward. He's got such a great race car, so much momentum. I'm really interested into seeing how Max Taylor handles this particular position. Yesterday, put on 2 great shows to get 2 victories. How does he handle it today? Running now P6, and 2 tough drivers to get by, Augusto Soto Sharipa and Ariel Elkin. They may be 2 of the hardest drivers to pass in this USF Juniors field here in 2024. McNeely leading by 0.8 of a second. There's the gap as they come down into Thunder Valley. I think potentially it'll be Weldon more putting the pressure here on Ribeiro as opposed to Ribeiro going after McNeely. McNeely with a chance to potentially pull away. There's a great battle back here as well. That is Patricio Gonzalez. Diego Guillo, I think, is in there. Jack Jeffers in that fight as well. Jeffers trying to work his way back forward after getting collected in that instant up in turn number 5. G3 Argero's back up on it as well. Remember, he had an issue on pit lane, was able to get his starting spot, but he's running in the 7th position right now. He comes in 7th in points. Good racing all told. And I'll tell you, further back, coming through turn number 1, hold your breath there. Rusty, how about that side-by-side battle? 6 drivers through 1.
Wow, right at the exit of turn 1. You don't see that very often there. They were both able to hang on to it. They're going 3 wide now into the keyhole. We'll see how this comes out down the straightaway. Looks like they've all separated there into single file, a little bit of side-by-side racing. Max Taylor, though, on the move, side-by-side, now inside, outside, trying to get around, Tom.
Yep, and appears to do so, but we got a new second-place car. Sebastian Weldon has made his way up and around Bruno Ribeiro. Did that with a pass coming through turn 4.
And here they come through turn number 8. Weldon starting to pull away a little bit from Ribeiro, and Ribeiro's getting the pressure now from Ariel Elkin trying to close that back in. But that battle for 5th, Soto Sharifa, Taylor, and Argeros is nose to tail. They are locked together as they head up through Thunder Valley. Nobody stepping out of line, trying to wait for an opening.
Soto Sharifa actually off the racetrack during that battle up in turn number 5, went 4 wheels off and had to come back on into 6, so he's lost a bunch of time. McNeely now your leader. Weldon's gone to 2nd, as you guys had said. Ribeiro 3rd, Elkin 4th, 5th is Taylor, 6th is Argeros, 7th now Aiden Ingrata, and you got to go all the way back to 8th now for Augusto Soto Sharipa. He was on the outside of the battle coming over the top of the hill in turn number 5, tried to hold it. I don't know if there was contact or not, but he ended up going off driver's right, so issue there again for him. Tough one for Soto Sharipa, but he'll put his head back down, press the reset button, and keep digging. Brady Golan now running 9th, Joshua Lionel in the 10th spot. Again, watching that battle further back, we've talked a lot about this scrap. There's Jack Jeffers now on the outside of Diego Guillo. Jeffers went way wide, lost it a bit coming into turn number 2, and the car skated away on him. I think he lost a position there. He'll have to come back and fight. That's a really good scrap. 5 drivers there behind Diego Guillo. I believe it's Guillo, Jeffers, Carell, Gonzalez, and potentially Christian Cameron in there as well, as we're just coming up to the halfway point. Lots of 2x2 battles throughout this field here now as everybody's scrapping for position. And as I said, we're kind of into this stretch run, the second half of the season. After this, a triple header at Road America and a triple header at Portland for the drivers here in the USF Pro. So still 6 races after this weekend, but everybody's looking at where they are in the points, and they're seeing what's happening with the guys up front, like a Max Taylor who's got some momentum, like a Liam McNeely who was super quick here, qualified on pole, now finds himself leading the way over Sebastian Weldon. Weldon trying to fight back after yet another DNF yesterday, the contact between he and Bruno Ribeiro over in turn number 9. Otherwise, man, we are 100% stacking them up behind Joshua Leonel. Leonel's right there, Scorpione, Gonzalez, Vergara, then 8/10 back, I believe, to either Timothy Carell or Rodrigo Gonzalez behind Joao Vergara. This is a heck of a battle here as everybody's kind of lined up to fight. Fastest lap of the race, that's a bonus point we have to talk about right now at the halfway point. That belongs to Sebastian Weldon, a 1:26.285. Last time by, he was 4/10 quicker than Liam McNeely. The gap just 8/10. Do the math, that's 2 laps for him to be right there on the gearbox of Liam McNeely. We may have a fight once again for the championship. McNeely second in the title chase, Weldon in third as they work their way again through 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good fights. A lot of little separate battles kind of form up here now as everybody is, like I said, fighting. Here comes that great one over the top of the hill. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars essentially in the pack there. And a good experience for all these drivers. We had an issue in the opening circuit. We've had 7 straight laps of green flag racing, so a great job as they come back down into Thunder Valley. Leaders coming back up top of the hill. I'm telling you this right now, we got 4 drivers within about 3 seconds, but right now the battle up front continues. Liam McNeely leading. He'll put lap number 11 in the books. How were the lap times this last time by? McNeely finding some more speed. 7/10 of a second. Rusty McNeely, Weldon, Ribeiro, Elkin, and Taylor coming to you.
Watching them now into the keyhole turn, about 3 car lengths under brakes as they get there. Weldon looks to be closing a bit in the keyhole, but we'll keep an eye now down the straightaway to see if McNeely tries to shake up the draft. Driving a little bit trying to do that, but he's got enough of a gap that the 98 of Weldon's really not in the main draft coming down the straightaway, but tightens it up under braking again.
Yep, does tighten it up, but not able to pull up where he can do anything like get around it. But there's a big gap back then to the third place car, Ribeiro. Elkin right behind him. Further back, we got a real twitch coming out of the 24th car of Soda Sharippa. It looked like he was going to try and make a move there, but that slip was going to cost him.
Leader's already by me, but as you mentioned there, Tom, Soto Sharippa was right on the back wing of Ingrata, but has now slipped off to about a car length. It is now about half a car length between those 3 as they battle for that 7th position.
Yeah, they battled it out, John, there coming into turn number 4, and that was the 2 drivers from J. Howard Driver Development who were battling it out, Argyros and Ingrata. They went side by side. I thought Soto Sharippa might be able to capitalize on them fighting with each other, but Argyros still holds the spot. Ingrata looking for a good finish. He comes in here, Aiden Ingrata, 8th place in points. Has had a good little run of a couple of finishes, but no, we have contact. 2 drivers off, coming down over the hill and into the carousel. They're able to continue, and we'll see who's falling down the order. One of them will be Diego Guillo, and the other will be one of our J. Howard Driver Development pilots. I think that might have been Hudson Potter. So the 2 of those drivers getting together, Potter and Guillo. I didn't see how it happened, but a little bit of contact coming over the hill out of turn number 11 down through 12, and around they went before they got into the carousel. Luckily, both drivers able to get back on the racetrack and continuing. So no damage. I am being told potential driver off in turn number 4, the car 12 of Diego Guillo. Oh, okay, that was the 12 and the 4. So the update I got I had already given. So yeah, it was the 2 and the 12 of Guillo and the 4 of Potter together over in turn number 11. So the battle we're seeing right now coming down the hill through Thunder Valley. Weldon continues to close up the gap with 3/10 of a second last time by. In terms of pace, down to 4/10, and call it a car lengths. You can give as much time as you want. Visually, though, just 1 car length as Weldon has been closing up. Still 7 laps remaining as they come across the line. Again, we talked a lot about aero wash and that push, the understeer in the corners for drivers in USF Pro 2000. They have significantly more aerodynamic downforce with the wing package they have on those cars, so you're not going to get quite as much of that here in USF Juniors. So Weldon's not going to deal with that much. You can see they've worked their way into the downhill right-hand keyhole, but the thing about the keyhole is that downhill off camber, all they got to do, John, is kind of get that wing out there a little bit. You'll see them kind of just change their line enough to get a bit of air over one side of the wing.
Yeah, that's really all it takes, is offset the car just a little bit, get some fresh air on the wing, then they've got what they need to make the turn, the front end sticks enough that they can initiate the turn, then they can tuck in behind and try to get a little draft coming down the long back straightaway.
Look at this fight down into turn number 4 right now. That's side by side. I believe that's Soto Sharipa. He's been able to get by Aiden and Grada. So Soto Sharipa sandwiched right now by a couple of Jay Howard cars. That's also going to bring Brady Golan in as they're fighting. Soto Sharipa, who got pushed down off the track over in 5, went all the way back to 8th. He spotted his way back to 7th. Now trying to find a way by G3 Argyros. That's the scrap right there. You can see that 4th car coming into the frame, into the fray, if you will. That is Brady Golan, the Texan. Second year of the USF Juniors program, also running in USF2000 as well. So lots of good seat time for the youngster out of Texas. Leaders across the line. This is that fight here right now for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th coming through. There's 10th, 11th, and 12th as well. Lionel Scorpioni and Vergara. Jack Jeffers has finally cleared Gonzalez and Cameron, the field back there. He's up to 14th position, 1.5 behind Timothy Carell. So Timmy Carell holding on to the position of 13th. He was finished 9th in race number 1. And Carell coming into the weekend here looking for good points for sure. He's a 12th place in points coming in. So a couple of good results would be strong for Carell. Still watching this battle between Argyros, Soto Sharipa, and Ingrata. We're going to keep an eye on that for sure. But again, as I said, a lot of great battles out on the track. Here's the one for the lead. McNeely. Listen, from the very get-go, John, at NOLA Motorsports Park on the opening weekend, these two drivers went head-to-head, right? It was McNeely on the pole. The wins go to Weldon. McNeely got a victory in race number 2, back and forth. It was kind of like this little rivalry of the American and the Brit, kind of hooking up really early on in the season. We're seeing it happening here as well in Mid-Ohio.
Exactly, and the other guy I've been watching, he's been setting fast lap after fast lap. Max Taylor, yesterday's hero, back-to-back wins yesterday. He's closing down. He was almost half a second quicker than Ariel Elkin on that last lap. He's about a second and a half behind, but look for Max Taylor to see if he can get up into the top 4, maybe even back on the podium before this one's done. Similar
to what we saw in the USF Pro 2000 race where Lockie Hughes finished 4th, but the drivers that were immediately behind him in the championship finished in front of him. Very similar right now as well. Yes, Max Taylor, your point leader in P5, but Elkin, Weldon, and McNeely, those drivers are all the ones that are right behind him essentially right now in the championship fight, so they're all going to make up a bit of ground. So again, I always talk about how that changes the mental focus. Taylor's like, okay, I can come home P5 right now and I'll get good points, but I'm going to lose a bit of my cushion. If I can come back and get in another spot, maybe I get by Elkin, I don't lose quite as much, right? And I'm going to be able to, and I don't lose anything to Elkin at all. Elkin comes in here P4 in the title chase. So it's always a different mindset as the leaders work their way down. Look at this battle we have. They got by, I think, one of the slower cars through a lap traffic around the corner. And here we go with laps starting to wind down. Final 5 here. Weldon in that number 98 Gamebridge machine all over the car of Liam McNeely. And again, this is going to be a fight for the championship when it all comes down to it. These drivers are separated by just 3 points in the championship fight. Weldon, a little bit different line coming through turn number 8, thinking about looking to the inside. They drift those cars up and over. Super light those cars get coming over turn number 9. Again, lap 16 will go in the books when they come back to the stripe. Bruno Ribeiro seems to have 3rd, locked and loaded. Ariel Elkin running in 4th. Like we said, Taylor closing up. He was 0.3 quicker last time by, 1.4 back. So potential for Taylor, if he keeps up this pace, to find the gearbox of Elkin before it's all said and done. I don't know that he'll be able to get to Ribeiro, but again, what's going to happen with the lead duo right now? Your top 10, McNeely, Weldon, Ribeiro, Elkin, Taylor. Argyros 6th, Soto Sharipa 7th, Ingrata 8th, Golan 9th, and Lionel in 10th. They'll work their way through turn number 1, back. Oh, we have a driver off. Driver has gone off, coming out of turn number 12, a spin. I don't know that that car is in a place that they'll throw the yellow flag right now. It's driver's right coming out, very hard to get there. John's going to have a look. Oh, indeed, full course caution coming out on the racetrack here, lap 16. And the pass almost getting done down into turn number 4. Weldon's going to have to back out of it. Full course yellow. They're still fighting. They're still racing hard here right now. The yellow flag is out. You can see that over to driver's left of the Marshall station. They'll get on the radio to these drivers and let them know to whoa it up. As the driver has spun coming out of turn number 12. Not quite sure, John, were you able to pick up a number that's really not in the right direction for us to see?
It's one of the Jay Howard cars, I can tell by the livery, but unfortunately it's right, got its rear into us, and we can't see the number plate.
Coming down, potentially Timmy Carell or JT Hoskins. Those two drivers have lost a lap at this point here. So one of the two, one of those Jay Howard cars, either Carell or potentially JT Hoskins. I'll try to pick up a driver on track here. It's either the 8 or the 6. Neither easy to pick up. Being told some potential flat right rear for the number 15 of Joshua Lionel. We'll see if he comes to pit lane. Indeed, I believe he may. Otherwise, the field getting reset here. That's lap 17. Like I said, this isn't going to take a lot of time, I don't think, to get this car back rolling again. Here comes the number 6 into pit lane, so that's JT Hoskins. So it's actually Timmy Carell that involved in the spin. Not sure if there was contact or what happened on track. You wonder whether or not, now that maybe Lionel has a flat, was there contact between those two drivers? But that was coming out of the carousel back over to turn number 13. So the field will circulate, and I know that we'll do whatever we can to get back to green. They're going to push this car back out onto the racing surface here now. Even if it's for one lap, our series will do whatever we can to finish under green flag racing. McNeely, Weldon, Ribeiro, Elkin, and Taylor. Yeah, indeed, here comes the 15 of Lionel into pit lane. Flat right rear, great pickup by our guys on the racetrack. So another driver dropping down to the field, Lionel. So here is now your top 10. McNeely leads, Weldon in second, Ribeiro third, Elkin fourth, Taylor fifth. So all that gap that Taylor was trying to bring up is gone. Everybody's ready to fight. This is going to be a nose-to-tail battle, likely a one-lap dash, to be honest. Ingrata is in 6th, Augusto Soto Chiripa in 7th, Brady Golan in 8th spot. 9th is G3 Argyros, 10th is Joao Vergara, 11th Leonardo Scorpioni, Jack Jeffers now up to 12th, Patricio and Rodrigo Gonzalez 13th and 14th respectively, Christian Cameron in 15th, Michael Succo 16th, Diego Guillo in 17th, 18th is Hudson Potter, 19th Joshua Lionel. They were able to get that tire changed. He's back on track and on the lead lap. Timmy Carell is going to re-continue. He'll be back at least a lap. So everybody's cleared up. So we're going to come around to put lap number 18 in the books, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to go, I believe, green and white when we come back around. We're going to have a one-lap dash to see who wins here in USF Juniors. Remember, our USF2000 drivers are going to follow this up. They'll be on the false grid as well. Back-to-back races here, as it's a triple header for USF2000. They'll race tomorrow morning as well. That race set to roll off at 9:15 tomorrow morning. Another 20-lapper for USF2000. John, this is going to get good.
Great recovery drive for Jack Jeffers.
Yeah.
As he was involved in that first lap incident there in front of Tom Michaels with a pretty big hit. Looked like he might even damage his rear suspension, and he's just kept his nose clean, worked his all the way back up into 12th. This is a great thing for him, because now he's got the field packed up in front of him. He might be able to pick up a couple more spots before this one's over.
And what do, right? I'll try to get a couple spots, and you never know what happens with attrition. Yep. That's one of the things that's going to happen, especially on a one-lap dash. If something happens on the racetrack, we'll race it back around to the checkered flag, because we'll cool down after that. So unless there's an unbelievably severe accident, we'll be able to keep rolling. And again, I'll tell you this, I had a chance to talk to Gianfranco De Bellis from Tatis. He's here this weekend. We've got two great folks from Tatis joining us here on the Tatis Grand Prix weekend. Our car has been tested a couple of times this year, on 4 occasions actually. The big wreck with Ava Dobson, who is fine, thank goodness. We'll see her back again this year as well with Ava. She's been come to a bunch of races. She's been in the booth with me. We saw, of course, the big wreck as well for Nico Christodoulou in Indianapolis when he went over, the Canadian driver. Then we saw the incident as well with, as we know, Logan Adams, his flip at Road America, and then the VIR wreck for Augusto Soto Chiripa. All 4 of those drivers unscathed. The safety and the strength of the Tatis car has been absolutely amazing. Such a great partner for us, and we're thrilled to have them with us. So, folks, the pace car's gone. If you're trackside, get up to the fence. Final lap battle. 1-lap fight to see who's going to win here in USF Juniors. These are the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. Liam McNeely, Sebastian Weldon, Bruno Ribeiro, Ariel Elkin. Britain, USA, Brazil, Israel. Green flag flying, and we're underway. A bit of a wiggle coming out of the corner for McNeely. He did not get a good jump. He's going to have to cover down the bottom. He had a bit of a wiggle coming through. He holds the spot through turn number 1. Again, everybody getting super aggressive as we're back to green flag racing. One more lap here. Lap 19 in the books. This will be coming up to turn number 1. It is to the outside run for Weldon. Can he hold the spot? He gets a wiggle. And watch for Bruno Ribeiro to tuck it back down the inside. That is not a good run there for Weldon. We saw Jeffers have the same issue from the outside. In fact, Weldon now going to get challenged by Bruno Ribeiro. Here they come. Ribeiro's on the inside. Weldon on the outside. Elkin trying to get himself in the fight. This is going to play really well for Liam McNeely. He's going to run the full race line. Look at Elkin trying around the outside of Weldon as well. Elkin's going to go into third. Oh, a little contact there. One driver spinning. Not quite. Oh, what a huge save for Joao Vergara. He was sideways coming out. Elkin goes into third spot. Weldon goes back to P4. A tremendous save, as I'd said before. Everybody digging. Final lap here. McNeely's going to be clean through turn number 9. That's pretty much a race win when you've got that kind of a gap coming into Thunder Valley. What a thrilling final lap for USF Juniors. They're not done. Side by side. Elkin's still right there. And right behind is Taylor trying to find a way by Weldon as well. Elkin's going to block all the way down to the bottom. A little bit of nose touching further back. Here they come through. What a scrap we have to finish off the day here. Twin checkers are out, and the win goes to Liam McNeely. The Brit will win. Race number 2 for USF Juniors. What a final lap. Bruno Ribeiro coming home in second. Third, Ariel Elkin. Fourth, Sebastian Weldon. Ribeiro and Elkin moving Weldon down 2 spots. Max Taylor comes home in 5th. Augusto Soto Sharipa 6th. Aiden Engrada in 7th. 8th was Brady Golan. 9th, G3 Argyros. 10th, Leonardo Scorpioni. Jack Jeffers back up to 11th in a frenzied final lap.
Elkin was only 3 points behind Weldon coming into this race. That's going to close it down even more as he takes over that third spot.
You're right. They may, in fact, be tied. Who knows? Well, Weldon does have the fast lap of the race, so he'll clinch tightly onto that bonus point for sure as things are tightening. You think about that, Taylor finishing down in P5, everything just tightened up because Taylor, who was the leader, P5, McNeely, Weldon, Elkin, all finishing in front of him. The only driver that'll lose a little bit to Max Taylor will be Jack Jeffers, but definite recovery race for Jack. Second place yesterday. He gets back up to 11th after really nowhere to go in that incident over in turn number 5. So a great run back for Jack Jeffers. There it is. He's 11th. Patricio Gonzalez, 12th. Joao Vergara almost went around. What a huge save for him down there in turn number 4. The exit got on the outside of the curbing there. Rodrigo Gonzalez, 14th. Christian Cameron, Diego Guillo, Michael Succo, Hudson Potter, Joshua Leonel, and Evan Cooley round out the top 20. JT Hoskins, Timmy Carell, 21st and 22nd. And no laps for Leandro Juncos after the contact on that opening circuit. Liam McNeely, though, this is a big win for this driver out of England. I think we're potentially going to see him at Toronto as well in a USF2000 debut. We'll see if whether that comes together. He will be, of course, ready to race at Road America when we get there on the second weekend of August. This tightened up the championship in a big way. McNeely is going to be happy with this. So he was back by a significant amount still, 25 points, but he's going to gain at least 5.
Yep.
So, hey, chip away at it. That's what it's about, John.
Triple header at Road America. Anything can happen up there for sure. So.
All right, well, listen, drivers are coming off the racetrack here right now. I'm going to leave it in the hands of John. I'm going to head down to Victory Lane to chat with this driver right here, Liam McNeely, getting the win today. We'll come right back after this with USF 2000.
Thanks, Rob. Great job as he makes his way down to the podium to talk to our winning driver as he is out of the cockpit. And Liam McNeely celebrating his third win on the season. Second win on the season, excuse me, after winning round 2 at NOLA. And coming off a strong finish in yesterday's race. And this win will definitely close the gap down to Max Taylor, who should leave with the points lead, but it's going to be a little slimmer than it was before this race got started. Great finish to this one with that one lap dash to the finish, and Jack Jeffers making the most of it after getting caught up in that first lap incident. As we mentioned, a great recovery drive for him. He came into this round in 6th in the points. That's where he ended after yesterday's race as well, but he was only 5 points behind Augie Soto Sharipa, but that's going to get a little bigger now as Soto Sharipa lost a couple spots on that last lap dash. And he comes home in 6th position. Max Taylor doing a great drive to maintain his points lead with the 5th place finish. Sebastian Weldon, unfortunately, victimized by both Ribeiro and Elkin on that last lap. So Weldon's fortunes, unfortunately, going the wrong direction after that DNF yesterday. But again, still plenty of racing left to go. The triple header at Road America, another triple header at Portland to round out the season. So 6 more races to go, and with 33 points on offer for each of the races, it's still anybody's ball game. It's very tightly bunched at the front with, as this race took off, only 25 points between Taylor and McNeely. That's going to be a little bit less now, as McNeely taking the win, doing just what he needs to do to close the gap and challenge for the season-long championship for USF Juniors. Next step up, of course, is USF2000, and they will be the next cars on track. They're scheduled to take the green flag in about 20 minutes' time at 1:05. But first off, we've got the podium celebration for the top 3 finishers of this USF Juniors race here, the finale for the weekend for these drivers. Again, their race was originally scheduled at midday yesterday, but was postponed to the end of the day so that a little track repair could be undertaken there at the exit of turn 4. And they put on a great show. Again, very uncharacteristic, as we talked about in the lead up to this race. Pit stops were the order of the day. As it started out a wet race, everybody was on rain tires, and almost immediately we had drivers going to drives. As Rob Howden has mounted the podium, let's send it down to him. Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you, John. And indeed, ready to go here in Victory Lane to celebrate the drivers in the top 3 here of this edition of the Tatus Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. The drivers in USF Juniors capping off their weekend here at Mid-Ohio in style. What a great race that was. So much wheel-to-wheel competition all the way through the field. And again, of course, that last lap dash after the late yellow, made it a 1-lap fight. Finishing in third, a great job for the driver from Inter MS. P3 goes to Ariel Elkin. Good fight for Ariel. P3. What a fight as well. Really got in there and dug up onto the podium, folks, from D-Force Racing. Second place today, Bruno Ribeiro. What a fantastic final lap. Side by side, these guys went at it all the way through that last lap. But the driver was able to hold them off. In fact, probably benefited a little bit of the battle behind him, but really didn't put a wheel race wrong all race long. Put your hands together for my winner from J. Howard Driver Development, Liam McNeely. Grab your trophy there, Liam. Come on down here with me. You're too tall. Listen, you had a win at NOLA Motorsports Park. It's crucial, as you know, into the stretch run. How important is it to win here, and how do you feel?
Yeah, you know, we've had the pace all weekend, so it was just about just trying to translate some the quality performances into the race. And, yeah, you know, led every lap there. You know, a bit of pressure towards the mid-race, and then, you know, had a good restart at the end, and, yeah, managed to get the win.
What were your thoughts when that yellow came out? You knew you had pressure from Weldon, but what were your thoughts on a 1-lap dash for the win? Yeah,
you know, I knew there wasn't many laps left, so, you know, I had a bit of pressure, but I think the caution ultimately helped me out at the end. So, you know, good race, and, you know, the J. Howard boys nailed the car again, so can't thank them boys enough.
Anybody else you want to thank? I know a lot of people watching from home.
Yeah, you know, Mum and Dad, obviously J. Howard and Joe Hodago, my engineer, and obviously my mechanic Josh, and then the speed group boys, James Hinchcliffe and Kevin. You know, they really helped me out over here. So yeah, I'm sure I've missed somebody, but yeah, those are everyone that I know.
Congratulations. Get up on top of the podium. He's going to have more time to thank a lot of people, folks. Liam McNeely with a victory here, a big one to tighten things up in the championship chase. All 3 of these drivers closing in on Max Taylor, who was the leader coming in. He remains the point leader coming out of this event, but all 3 of these drivers have shortened that championship. They've closed up on the leader as we head to the stretch run. We wrap things up here for USF Juniors at Mid-Ohio. From here, of course, 2 more triple headers to cap off the season. We go to Road America on the 2nd weekend of August. Looking forward to that. And along with all the different programs, all 3 of our series will cap things off at Portland International Raceway at the end of August, where we will pass out over $1.8 million in scholarships and awards. Guys, it's time to celebrate. You can wash those suits between now and then. Get down there, grab that champagne, guys, grip it and rip it. Time to celebrate USF Juniors and a win by Liam McNeely. What a drive for the British driver here. And again, you look at the international field. This is an international podium. England, Brazil, and Israel on the podium here for USF Juniors. And we're going to do it all over again. 4 races in total for the USF Pro Championships, 2 already done. Our USF2000 drivers are on the false grid getting ready to go. I'll send it back up right now to John Pittman as we continue on the broadcast here with USF2000 up next.
Thanks, Rob Howden. Appreciate it. As Rob will make his way back to our commentary position here, overlooking the start-finish line at Mid-Ohio, as we are getting ready for the second of 3 races on the weekend for the USF 2000 drivers. This 20-lap or 40-minute race scheduled to take the green in about 15 minutes time. So we've got just a little bit of a gap here before we introduce the drivers for this one. We had a good race yesterday with Max Taylor coming through with the victory, and then immediately backed it up with a victory in the USF Juniors race immediately following after it was rescheduled. So Max Taylor doing the job, moved up from 4th to 3rd in the points championship. Sam Corey still hanging on to 2nd in the championship with Max Garcia still the leader, but his gap has shrunk just a little bit. 42 points between Garcia and Corey, and now only 10 points between Max Taylor and Sam Corey in the battle for 2nd, as the field making its way down the pit lane here as they assume their positions on the grid. The 2 Jay Howard drivers at the front of the field, Evagoras Papasavas and Michael Costello leading the parade, with Quinn Armstrong just behind. The Australian in the number 11 for D-Force Racing, Thomas Schrag, Elliot Cox, Nicholas Giaffoni, all coming into position. Max Garcia, the points leader, starting back in row 4. Lucas Ficuri, the Brazilian rookie in the number 10 car in the 8th position. Max Taylor, again, jumping out of one car and into another, as is Brady Golan, back in 12th position, as he's got to make the swap from his juniors car into the USF 2000 car. Basically the same chassis, but no restrictor on the power plant, so it makes a little more horsepower. And it's a different shock package, different braking package, whatever. Rob can fill you in on the details, but it's basically the same car, just a little more grunt for these drivers. Ayrton Hoke back in the 13th position. Carson Eder, Hudson Schwartz, as they are all lined up here on the pit lane. And Rob will be up to introduce the starting grid of the 18 cars about to take the green flag for USF 2000. They've got one more race to go coming up tomorrow morning.
Back up into the booth here alongside John after a fun victory lane there with the victor Liam McNeely. Getting set to go though with our next one, and that's going to be USF 2000. Those drivers already onto the grid and get ready to fire things up. Let's have a look at that grid as those drivers get set to go. 18 in total, ready to roll out here for their 20-lapper. Giovanni Cabrera from Exclusive Autosport from Florida in the number 93 will start in the 18th spot alongside Texan Maxwell Jamison for D-Force Racing in the number 12. Row number 8 will have Jace Bacon, the number 7, the Jay Howard driver development pilot out of Arizona, starting 16th alongside Hudson Schwartz out of Arlington, Virginia in the number 22 for Pabst Racing, the rookie. Going to row 7, Carson Eder alongside his teammate Ayrton Houck, both those drivers for DC Autosport. Eder out of California in the number 57. Houck from Indianapolis, Indiana in the number 58, coming off a F1600 championship win at Road America last weekend. Row number 6 on the outside, Brady Golan. Right out of one car, right into the other. Brady Golan just raced in USF Juniors, now jumping into his USF 2000 car. The D-Force Racing Texan will start the number 18 car in 12th alongside Sam Corey. Keep an eye out for Sam in the number 23, 2 times the winner this year for Pabst Racing. Second place in points coming in, starting 11th today, but he's a driver to watch for, working his way forward. Into the top 10 now, the number 91 of Joey Brienza, Colorado driver now living in Indianapolis for Exclusive Autosport. Brienza in the number 91, starting in the 10th spot, and alongside him, it'll be Max Taylor, the driver who scored the big victories yesterday, won both races for VRD Racing. There's Joey Brienza, and right in front of him, the number 3, 2 times the winner yesterday, Max Taylor for VRD, as I said, out of New Jersey in the number 3, current point leader in USF Juniors, and right there in the fight in USF 2000 as well. Just did 20 laps, bolts himself into the next car for 20 more laps of racing. Moving now to row number 4 on the outside, the number 10 from Brazil, Lucas Facuri for D-Force Racing. Lucas in the 10 starting 8th. Alongside him, the point leader right now, the number 24 of Max Garcia out of Coconut Grove, Florida for Pabst Racing. Garcia, multi-time winner on the year so far. The number 24 starting in 7th. Going up to row number 3 now on the outside, USF Juniors champion from last year, the beautiful scholarship livery of the USF Pro Championships from Brazil, Nicholas Giafoni, second generation driver in that number 1 machine, multi-time winner here at Mid-Ohio last year as well. This guy knows how to get around this racetrack, podium in race number 1. And there's the stars and stripes for you, the red, white, and blue of Elliott Cox for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development. Cox in the number 67, starting on the inside of row number 3. An instant between he and Thomas Schrag put him back at the start of the race, but he fought his way back forward. He believes he's got a race-winning car. We'll see what he can do starting from the inside of row number 3. Row number 2, Ohio driver Thomas Schrag, former Team USA scholarship winner, Formula 1600 champion as well for VRD Racing. His first weekend with VRD, Thomas Schrag in the number 2, starting on the outside of row number 2, P4. Alongside him from Australia, tough run yesterday with contact taking him out. He's had great speed on the weekend. Quinn Armstrong from Australia. Shout out to the Armstrong family back in Australia. D-Force Racing, the team for Quinn in the number 11. He'll start P3, looking to rebound from the disappointment of Friday afternoon's race. He'll have 2 more chances to do it, once today and once tomorrow. 18 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Another driver waiting for that breakout. He's shown great speed throughout the entire season. That is Michael Costello, the rookie for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 8. All part of a Jay Howard Driver Development front row lockout. Costello on the outside and on the inside, the driver who scored his first ever USF2000 race here last year out of Loveland, Ohio. That is Evagoras Papasavas. Papasavas starting from the pole position, ready to roll out here. Comes in 4th place in points right now. Lots of work to be done. He's 57 points out of the championship. But a win here today and a win here tomorrow would definitely help Papasavas. A minor issue yesterday in the wet, looped it in turn number 5. The contact with Quinn Armstrong took him out. 2 of the front-running drivers taken out of the opening lap, John. Full dry now. Let's see what these drivers can do. Last year was a great battle between Papasavas and Simon Sykes, rubbing wheels side by side. Sykes thinking championship. Papasavas then thinking, I need to get a race win. We may see some more of that here today.
Yeah, he's only 5 points behind Max. And he's only 5 points behind Max Taylor after yesterday's race. So Papasavas definitely in a position to move himself up into the top 3 if he can maintain that position. And, the points battle is really pretty tight. Max Garcia with a pretty comfortable lead, 42 points over Sam Corey, but then it's only 10 back to Max Taylor, and then 5 back to Papasavas. So it's definitely very, very close at the front.
And there's still lots of racing, as we said. We're going to cap off with 2 more races here. This is the second of the triple header for USF2000. They're going to run today and tomorrow morning as well. That race, I believe, tomorrow is set to go off at around I want to say 9:15. So early tomorrow morning, we'll have these back on track. But then they've still got 2 races at Toronto and a triple header at Portland. We are really just past the halfway point for the drivers here in USF2000. So many points still up for grabs. Wins can be here. DNFs can be here. Again, anytime you go to a race like Toronto or even Portland, like I said, the opening corners at Portland, some of the toughest to navigate as our drivers, of course, at the finale, super anxious. Drivers just diving in there. Ideally, we'll calm things down this year, but it really makes sure that everything's wide open when it comes championship time. Like you said, though, Max Garcia, how about yesterday? Gets out there on a yellow. He ends up spinning on the yellow. That sends him to the tail of the field. He storms all the way back, and through all the chaos, the 3 or 4 green flag laps that we had, ends up coming himself back up onto the podium, which is crazy for him. But he's still able to get those second-place points as the engine's now firing. It was a huge recovery for Max Garcia, which could have been a horrible day for him.
Sure, absolutely. And it was very challenging conditions. I mean, the track was sodden when these drivers went out yesterday, and some of them paid the price. I mean, we had a lot of full course yellows, but very different conditions here. Expect a much different outcome as well.
And once again, we'll have all 3 of our turn announcers we'll use throughout the race here. There is the call to send the number 6 of Evagoras Papasavas out onto the racetrack. It'll be 1 lap. I always have a good look here. Check out for those sticker tires. The 24, that's sticker tires for Garcia, it looked like. I want to say one of the drivers up front as well. Might have been Thomas Schrag with stickers. There's another driver with stickers there. I think that was Brienza. So a number of drivers holding on to a fresh set. A lot of drivers seem to have held on to fresh sets of tires here because, again, we didn't have that race yesterday. who hold the dry tire race yesterday, who holds another set maybe for tomorrow morning, right? It's always interesting by where you start. Also, something I didn't follow at all in the USF Pro 2000 race, I just wasn't looking at all at it, John, was the fact that even though we had a dry qualifying session for US Pro 2000, where the fastest lap sets the grid for race 1, the second fastest lap sets the grid for race 2, they went significantly faster in race number 1. They were able to use their race number 1 laps as well. So literally, that was a qualifying session too. All those drivers who went so quick down into the high 17s, low 18s, those all set the grid. So a little different than we saw the race earlier today. It'll be, I believe, Simon Sykes on the pole alongside Jace Denmark. So there's a lot of action. Not Nikita Johnson up front for that one, as everything, of course, changed in qualifying. That could happen here today as well if they were able to go a little bit quicker. So if you literally look here, Evagoras Papasavas, a 1:23.8 for this second race. He used his second best qualifying lap. If he beats a 1:23.8 in terms of race pace here, we'll keep an eye on that. Someone could lean back and steal a pole position here for race number 3 tomorrow.
Absolutely, and the bonus point that goes along with it. So, again, as we get into the closing races of the season, those bonus points are valuable.
And $1,000.
You betcha.
Pole position for USF Juniors from Continental Tire, $500 for USF Juniors, $1,000 for USF 2000, $1,500 for a pole for the drivers in the USF Pro 2000 category. The drivers have worked their way around the racetrack. They're going to line things up right now. Hopefully we'll get enough people up there. The speed up front still pretty quick. The remainder of the field still coming out and over top of turn number 9. They're lined up for the first, at least, I want to say, 4 rows. The rest of the field kind of straggling their way up here now. They will, of course, park things coming down into the carousel. That'll let everybody close back up. Papasavas and Costello on the front row. Nice to have a teammate alongside you, but you got Quinn Armstrong and Thomas Schrag, 2 drivers desperately looking for a race win here. Their first in USF 2000 competition. Out of the final corner, time to go racing, and we are underway. Green, 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 and a good start by both drivers up front. Armstrong peeking to the inside of turn number 1, but it looks good as they come through there right now. The 2 Jay Howard cars clean and green through. Papasavas will take the lead, and a wise run there for Costello. Tuck back in behind the gearbox, maybe defend a bit coming down up the straightaway. Couple of drivers inside, outside, 3 wide, a little bit further back. Everybody's settling into position. Thomas Schrag, I think, able to get himself up into 3rd, so a good start there for Schrag as he goes P3. One driver 4 wheels off. You can see all the way off the racetrack coming out of turn number 2. Otherwise, the field kind of lining up as they work their way down, as expected, into turn number 4. Front 3 drivers clean. How about 2, maybe almost 3 wide further back? That's Giaffoni on the inside, and I think Elliot Cox on the outside. Cox with the advantageous inside line coming over to turn number 5, but if you roll the outside like he's trying to do, may be able to hold that spot coming down the hill. Indeed, no. Cox works his way into the position to 4th. I put Giaffoni back to 5th. Good opening half of a circuit here. Little wiggle of a driver coming through there a little bit further back, right behind the car of Facuri. That might have been Max Taylor coming through turn number 8. Side-by-side action. Ayrton Hauk getting a spot coming up his way forward here as well. Again, good racing on the opening circuit. It was a messy one in race number 1 with the wet weather and drivers off the racetrack significantly throughout that race. So many yellow flags. We didn't get a lot of green flag racing, but the first one will go into the books right now. We're 1 down, 19 to go as we're rolling here with USF 2000. We'll cap the day later today with USF Pro 2000, all part of this Tatis Grand Prix. In the pace car, at the very start of this, I talked about the fact that Tatis has its reps here. How about the president, Gianfranco De Bellis, and the CEO, Giovanni Delfino, in the pace car here this weekend? Great to have them here. They build cars for series all over the world. We're thrilled to have them as a partner, and that's fantastic. Get them in that pace car, get a chance to see this racetrack, Mid-Ohio, from ground level. Papasavas was the first driver across the line. Costello 2nd, Schrag in 3rd, Elliot Cox 4th. 5th was Nicholas Giaffoni. They're all pretty clean coming down. 6th spot is now Max Garcia. 7th, Quinn Armstrong. Max Taylor 8th. Ayrton Hauk 9th. And Joey Brienza into the 10th position. Things settling in here for the opening circuit. John, good start to the race. I don't know if they had a talking to each other or they all just said to themselves, hey, listen, we don't want a repeat of what we had in race number 1.
Well, yeah, and of course the track conditions were really awful when they took to the track yesterday, and it was their first running in the wet. So, obviously challenging conditions.
It was
sure.
challenging, yep.
But, yeah, looks like they've cleaned up their act here, and it's pretty much a single-file race right at the moment.
And what I've said before about Mid-Ohio, this is one of those racetracks where things start to spread out easily. It's not it's not a Road America. It's not a VIR where you have that big, long straightaway where everybody can get in that draft and stay in the lead pack and tuck out and make moves. This really is a driver's track. You have to have a good race car. These particular cars, USF2000, not near as much aerodynamic downforce or aero wash as you'll get in the USF Pro 2000 we are following closely. But they'll work their way down now again to turn number 2, the lead. Rusty Bell goes to Evagoras Papasavas.
Down the straightaway one more time, about 3 car lengths. Maintained that gap for the first couple of laps as they come down. Watched a few cars go wide on that opening lap, including the number 1 at Giafone. Almost lost it going into the keyhole, but he recovered. Battled down into the S.
No challenges in that front group. We watch them as they come by. Best battle right now. The 24 is holding off the cars immediately behind him. Quinn Armstrong was falling back to the 7th position. He's got Max Taylor right there as well.
That battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th between Garcia, Armstrong, Max Taylor, and Brienza is still tight. Actually gets a little tighter as it heads up through turn number 10. Max Garcia will continue to hold on to that, trying to chase down Giafone for 5th.
Yeah, Garcia P6, I think probably even closer right behind him. Is the number 11, a Quinn Armstrong. Armstrong trying to get back up. Remember, he started in 3rd, has fallen back to 7th on the opening circuit. But again, for Armstrong, anything's better than getting the damage and getting taken out halfway through the opening lap, as happened yesterday for him. All of these drivers are going to get a chance to do it again tomorrow. So maybe that takes a little bit of pressure off on what needs to happen today. Let's have a good race. And remember, they all know lap time-wise, this is something we have to look at as well. A 1:23.8 fast lap for Papasavas for this and the next race. He's down to a 1:24.6 now as his cars start to get lighter and lighter. You can't make a mistake here and go out early. You got to give yourself a chance to have a good lap time. If you're a top 10 driver and you're out early here and then you have to rely once again on your second fastest lap time, that is not going to work for sure. So you got to make sure that you take care of yourself here. Give yourself the opportunity to put in a fast lap. That's one of the key components of this race, is to get that fast lap in. And an issue there, you can see damage, rear wing damage, I believe. That may be the number 2 of Thomas Schrag. We'll try to pick that up when they come through again, turn number 8 and 9. So indeed, Thomas Schrag, an issue there. The rear wing looks like it's been damaged off to the side. We'll have a better pickup when he comes over the hill here and they give us a shot of that lead group, because it's still Papasavas and Costello 1 and 2. We're following our way through the field. Once we get a shot to look at the leaders, we'll be able to give you a look. In fact, we may be able to get a visual look as he comes through here as well. Better. Here they come on the front straightaway. Yeah, that rear wing, that's actually, I think that's the shock cover that has went up and over top, and the shock cover's in front of the wing. So the wing itself doesn't look like it's damaged, John, but a piece, I don't know if it's his piece or not, but the shock cover is flown up and is trapped essentially on the left side of the car.
Yeah, exactly right. It looks like a piece of debris of some kind, whether it's off his car or somebody else's. Could be a signboard for all I know. But yeah, it's a big rectangular piece of something stuck on the front of that wing, and that's going to absolutely wreck the rear downforce. Plus, it acts like a big aero brake. Rusty, that's right under you.
Yeah, it is the shock cover on the front of the car, and he's losing spots. He can't shake it off the car. He's trying, but he can't get it off.
I'll tell you one thing. I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't know if I've seen some driver with worse luck than Thomas Schrag. This guy always has good pace. The stuff that happens, incidents happen that are not his issue. And again, we're seeing that right now. A tough one, running P3, good momentum, confident and in a great position, but finds himself with trouble here right now. He's lost a couple of spots already. Elliott Cox and Nicholas Giafone have gone through, so Cox is up to 4th, Giafone 5th, Thomas Schrag now back into the 5th spot. The 5th spot, but listen, I don't know how you shake that off. That's the thing. You know, he's number 1, the race control may be watching that and saying, hey, not exactly sure we want that happening on the track. Here, now look, it's actually moved further back. It is moving a little bit. It is his shock cover. He's almost got to get up on top of the curb a little bit and see if he can't upset it a little bit. He's obviously behind someone. Can you get the, that ruffled air that could potentially push it off as well? But otherwise, it is stuck right there on the essentially left side of the rear wing of the car. And that is, again, like you said, now, number one, it upsets the balance of the car. Number two, it's a huge aerofoil. And he's just getting, it is just hampering him everywhere around this racetrack now. It's almost like he should almost pull in, get back onto the racetrack, and then hope for a yellow flag at this point here, because dropping like a rock through the field here as everybody's taking advantage of that, getting the draft behind him. There's 3 cars that are going to go by. He obviously can see it, because all you got to do is look in your left rear mirror, right, and you can see it there, that he's got that big piece. And of course, they've been told from race control, he knew it as soon as it happened. That thing flopped off. He looks in the mirror and it's not gone. I can't say it's something I've seen.
Yeah.
In my time here, the 15 years I've worked with Anderson Promotions. This is, wow, this is an issue hit for him, and he's going to keep following. Papasavas, though, with the lead, 0.8 of a second the gap. Yeah, all the way back now, I think in front of Quinn Armstrong now for Schrag. He lost a position to Garcia, Taylor, and Brienza. Quinn Armstrong will be the next driver to try to take advantage of this. Does he make the move to the pits? Is he going to get called in yet, or is he just going to try to hold on? Because, again, you might as well just hold on, be honest, because if a yellow comes, you're coming in anyways, you go to the tail of the field. It's not like if he gets it now, he's going to be able to close back up. Although maybe he would be able to get a couple of spots. If we go green to the end, I don't know where he's going to be able to slot in, how much, how many drivers are going to be able to reel him in. Where can he run with that kind of issue on that rear wing, or does it pop off somehow? Armstrong not able to get by, but again, here's the place where he's going to have the biggest trouble coming down the straightaway. It's going to be such hindrance in terms of straight line speed. Everybody trying to lap. It's Quinn Armstrong and Sam Corey now trying to line up behind him to see if they can't take full advantage of this. Again, all our focus essentially right now on the issue for Thomas Schrag. Quinn Armstrong gets by, as does Sam Corey. So just such a hindrance coming down the straightaway as third and fourth get over top of the hill. Elliott Cox and Giafoni. Who else did we lose? Who else fell down the order potentially? I guess that may be Schrag moving down, because Elliott Cox is up into third spot. Yeah, Cox goes to third. I didn't think he was all the way up to third. Schrag was third, so Cox now onto the podium provisionally, 6 laps in. Giafoni runs in fourth, Garcia fifth, Brienza now up to sixth, Max Taylor seventh, Thomas Schrag in eighth, Quinn Armstrong ninth, and Sam Corey rounds out the top 10. Again, for Max Garcia, John, he is fifth on the racetrack, but the drivers who really are in the closest fight with him are Sam Corey and Max Taylor. Both those drivers are behind him right now. So not the biggest hurt, although Evagoras Papasavas trying to get that taste. And hold back into pit lane. Indeed, Schrag coming in. They're going to grab that shock cover off and send him back out. Actually, they may try to jam it back on. They may just pull it off. It's already, as soon as he comes to the stop, it's off. They're going to take the quick amount of time to put it back on the race car and get him back out. You wonder whether there's some damage to the fasteners on it at all. So for Schrag, he's going to have to cross his fingers and hope for a yellow flag. That is tough for Thomas Schrag into pit lane. They're still working on it to try to get it fixed. I don't know whether or not it's a rule to have that on there or not.
Hey, Rob, when Schrag came through turn number 9 the last time, it looked like that piece was actually starting to rub the left rear tire.
You have to wonder whether or not, again, big call in here from Steve Connolly, I believe, out in turn number 9, that watching that, where the shock cover was kind of leaning and how it was angled, John, potentially rubbing on that tire a little bit. It's something I figured he was going to come into the pit earlier. Something definitely could happen, especially depending on the inclination. It wasn't turned around the other way where a knife edge would have been down on it, but you always have to think about that left rear tire.
Yeah, exactly right. In fact, when he stopped, basically it contacted the tire, and that's what popped it off. So that's basically what happened. The benefactor of that is Papasavas and Costello, because there's now a big gap back to Elliott Cox in third, almost 5 seconds, as with the problem that Schrag was having that backed everybody up behind him.
Yeah.
So now they're the benefactors. Papasavas just set the fast lap of the race. So
and John, 123.4. 123.8 was his fastest lap, so we are indeed in a qualifying run as well here for race number 3. I don't want to mess it up like I did for USF Pro 2000, not even really considering the pace the drivers were putting down. So we are literally looking at fast laps here. Michael Costello, 123.5. He was a 123.9. Like everybody here. Thomas Schrag was a 124.0. Did he get even one good lap in for Schrag?
25-1.
A 25. So yeah. So again, this is going to be tough for him. This is not only going to hurt him in race number 2. He's going to fall down the order in race number 3. Anybody laying down a 123 right now, there are 8 of them who've laid 123s, are going to be in front of Thomas Schrag in race number 3.
Actually, it might be a mixed blessing, because now that he's running in clear air, he might be able to put in a blinder, and he could go right back up to the top of the order.
Could go to P1, indeed that. Yeah, if he gets with the right car, potentially gets a bit of a draft, that is a very, very key point. Could he eventually get a lap time by himself and go up? As he runs right now, he has not turned that fast lap. But again, as you said, there are still 11 laps to go. Great point for John Phippen there, as there is an opportunity for him to get back up. But right now, so many of these drivers have gone quicker. Quinn Armstrong, a 124 flat. Yeah, Armstrong, Taylor, Brienza, all these drivers turning their best laps here in the race. And again, we talked to those drivers in the paddock beforehand, John, thinking about how different the racetrack was going to be from yesterday to today, with Indy next on track, a full IndyCar, another full IndyCar session on the racetrack as well. So all these drivers dealing with a much different racing surface than they've really tested throughout the last couple of days.
Sure, and the car setup's obviously going to be a little different, because they knew it was going to be wet yesterday, so they probably softened up the suspension, which is what you do in wet weather conditions. So now they've tightened them back up again, ready for a dry track. We got bright sunshine on the racetrack. The temperatures are coming up. So, just about everybody in the top 12 has set their fast lap after lap after lap. They're going faster and faster with each lap as the fuel burns off the racetrack.
You can see the beautiful blue skies, some cloud cover, 77 degrees here, ambient temperature, as we are rolling just past the 1 o'clock hour. Our third of 4 races in the USF Pro Championships. And again, big thank you to Tatis for being here this weekend as part of the Tatis Grand Prix here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And obviously seeing a really solid performance here for Evagoras Papasavvas. I will say this too, folks. After we're done here, our autograph sessions are going to start in the souvenir, right in front of the souvenir stand down just outside the IndyCar paddock. 220 will have the drivers in USF Pro 2000. Then we'll have our drivers in juniors in 2000 as well. So it's going to be an hour-long autograph session. We'll cycle out our drivers through all 3 series. So come and join us down at the souvenir stand just outside the IndyCar paddock there. We'll have all of our drivers there beginning at 2:20. Papasavvas could be the one there with the trophy beside him as well. He's looking to try to see if he can't get his first win of the season again. Evagoras Papasavvas out by almost a full second from his teammate Michael Costello. And a great run here from Costello as well. A driver, of course, looking to keep getting his name in here. Came off a podium finish at Road America. It's all starting to come together for Michael. He had a really good opening part of the season at St. Petersburg, but then had some issues kind of getting settled in. This kid's got blinding speed for sure, and we're seeing that here at Mid-Ohio. A driver's track, as I said. Jay Howard's obviously nailed the setup as well. Papasavvas leading the way, and there they are coming into Thunder Valley. Halfway point has been reached. Lap 11 will go in the books next time by. The big battle is the one you're going to see here. Not so much even for third spot, but if you go back to fourth, it's Giafoni, Garcia, Brienza, Taylor's right there. A little further back to that white and blue car of Quinn Armstrong, and then behind him Sam Corey. So there's a great fight from fourth back to ninth at this point here, and that's them coming out of turn number 13. Rusty Bell, you're going to see the leaders coming out under the bridge into turn number 1. The Jay Howard cars wide and pride, first and second for Papasavvas and Costello.
They are up into the keyhole turn right now, as we just saw Schrage go by. He's into the 122.8 right now, so he certainly has turned the quick lap running by himself. But we've got the lead battle now in front of me at the kink. Watching it go by right now, it's definitely about 6 car lengths here in front of me.
And stretched out a little bit now. The accordion's down during braking. Past me now, Papasavvas, Costello, big gap back. We got a pass coming up here for the number 4 position. On the inside of turn number 5, here comes Garcia. Garcia moves himself up a position.
Garcia now into that 4th position, but the battle right behind them for 6th and 7th. That's with Wayne Brienza and Max Taylor. Taylor tried to take a peek, but he couldn't make anything stick. He'll stay single file. In fact, that single file back through about the 11th position.
Textbook pass there for Max Garcia on Nicholas Giafoni. Outside of turn 4, inside of turn 5. Has the position coming down the hill for turn number 6. What a beautiful pass. And Giafoni on the podium in race number 1. Ran it well. Listen, you've got me. I'm going to do the best I can to try to beat you down to the apex of turn number 6. Not quite there. Settled back in knowing he's got Brienza and Taylor right there, 6th and 7th behind. But let's focus on what Rusty Bell brought up there, I believe. Thomas Schrag, a 122.834. John, you laid it out. That's exactly what he wanted to do, was go P1.
Exactly right. I mean, he's got the fastest lap because he's running in clear air. He doesn't have to worry about traffic, doesn't have to worry about aero wash. He's just got to hit his marks and turn his fastest lap. He's going to start on the pole in the next race, assuming that he can hang on to it.
Yeah, exactly that, because, the other driver's still rolling out lap times. Papa Savas, a 123 flat last time by. That car is going to keep getting quicker and quicker as he starts to burn off that fuel, but he's going to have to find 2 or 3 tenths of a second, because I don't know that Schrag's done or not as well. He's going to keep rolling here, Thomas Schrag, as he puts number 12, and yet does another 122.813. He just resets fast lap again, 122.818 for Thomas Schrag. So although he is still on the lead lap right now, in fact, if this plays out and there's a yellow and he gets a chance to fight his way back forward, it might be a net win to a certain extent. Steve, what do you got going over there in turn number 9?
One car goes around into the braking zone. That is the 18 of Brady Golan. Looks like he got on the brakes, got in here a little too hot, looped it around, and now stuck in the gravel.
P13 is where Brady Golan was running when he went off over there into turn number 9. So trouble for the Texan at a 13th position. And what do we say for Thomas Schrag? How about a full course yellow? 13 laps still to go. When they come back around with this full course yellow coming out, we'll put lap 14 in the books. And again, how's this going to play out? That's not a tough car to get out. The AMR IndyCar safety crew knows what to do there. They'll get him out quickly. Ideally, he'll be able to continue. That's going to move Schrag up into 17th. I don't know that Schrag's going to get a shot. Here's the replay here, and we've seen this a couple times already, right? Just the driver coming out of turn number 8, John, a little bit too wide onto the exit curving there between 8 and 9. You drop that wheel, it high centers a bit, and I think you called it like a skateboard, like trying to run the rail on a skateboard. It just goes around, and at that point, you're along for the ride.
Yeah, exactly right. It's one of the things that you would think, oh, I just dropped a wheel, no big deal, but the car gets basically high centered on that curbing, and then you got no wheels in contact with the ground, and that's what creates the problem. So this is going to create an issue, I think, for our leaders, because they had opened up a big gap. I mean, it was like almost 5 seconds to Elliott Cox. Now he's resurgent. I mean, Cox is going to be right on the back door of Michael Costello, and he's shown he's got the same pace as the guys in front of him. The other guy I've been watching, Max Taylor, has been glued to the back of Joey Brienza. That's been consistently the closest margin of anybody. He's been, within a few tenths of Brienza. So I'd look for Max Taylor to try to get a good run and repeat the histrionics that he had yesterday with back-to-back wins.
Yeah, I'll tell you, restarts are a great opportunity, especially on a track here like Mid-Ohio where you don't have a lot of opportunity. Once that field starts to stretch out, as we talk about, you're going to keep digging to try to close up on a driver. Now, when you have a restart, you can potentially get a better start. You can maybe make an aggressive move into 1. It's into the keyhole. It's out of the keyhole. It's down into 4. You only have a couple chances on that restart, but because of the way restarts play, you do have an opportunity to make things happen. So it's definitely placed into the hands of Thomas Schrag. I'm going to say he finishes, depending on how it goes, he's going to could potentially finish top 10. He's got such a hot rod right now. We'll see how it plays out for Thomas Schrag. Otherwise, lap 14 done. Lap 15 will hit when we come back around. Steve Conley, you're out there. We don't have the eyes on it right now. How are they doing with the cleanup there of Brady Golan?
Well, they just got Golan pulled out of the gravel trap, but now trying to get him turned around right at the moment. They've got him facing counter race. The safety car is pulled away, but get him turned around and we'll be ready to roll here second. One of the safety trucks is now actually pulled in the middle of the track to try to maybe stop the field here as they get him shuffled around.
So indeed, we won't go green this time by, but where they are now, I'm gonna expect we'll go green next time by. So it'll be 15, that'll be 16, 4 more laps to go. We'll see what Schrag can do from the tail of the field. Then it's going to be 4 laps for Cox to go to work on Costello. Costello go to work on Papa Savas. Garcia, your point leader, going to be thinking what he decides he wants to do, depending on how things happen around him. Taylor's aggressive on Brienza, as we know. Sam Corey and Quinn Armstrong ready to potentially go at it for 8th. A lot of different storylines potentially playing out here for drivers who are thinking championship and others just thinking about getting that first win. They all get a chance to do it again tomorrow morning at 9:15. I think it's one of the keys. You don't want to demo your car. Have a good finish here. A lot of drivers have moved up and got the results they're looking for here. So some will try to hold station. Some will try to get aggressive. A driver like Max Garcia, who's got such a point lead right now, maybe a different feel for it, right? He's 42 points ahead of Sam Corey coming in. I got a bit of breathing room, maybe. Not a lot. I don't want to lose spots, but with Corey behind him, too, he's in a pretty good spot right now. He's thinking more about Taylor and Papasavas.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, all the wins this season have been concentrated in the top 3 positions. A couple outliers, Tanner DeFabis taking the win at IRP, Nico Christodoulou taking the win in the 3rd round at New Orleans, but all the rest of the wins have been between Garcia, Corey, and Max Taylor. You know, Papasavas in a position to join that group and become a winner on the season. Michael Costello would love nothing more than to do that as well. He's a couple points back. He's back in 9th in the points order right now, so this would really be a shot in the arm for Costello if he can find a way around his teammate.
And Papasavas started this season off on fire. Didn't get the race win, as I had said, but 4 straight podium finishes, and then even the non-podium in the next race was a top 5. So we had this run of top 5s, and everything was going in the right direction. You waiting for that win, showing the patience that you would want to see, and then a couple issues that weren't of his doing. DNFs put him back, and of course that starts to beat down on a driver, your mental focus. But I think Evagoras always had Mid-Ohio out there, right? There was always that focus of, hey, when I get there, I can turn things around. I know this racetrack well.
There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. The oasis in the desert, if you will.
Yep.
He knew that was coming. He knew that, hey, when I get there, I'm pretty good at this racetrack. The Jay Howard crew has got a good car on this track as well. So with the lights out, we are going to go racing this next time by. As I had said, it'll be a 4-lap dash. Again, the Jay Howard driver development cars running 1-2. We've seen this before with Christian Rasmussen, the driver who will be in IndyCar, of course, this weekend as part of the Honda 200. Looking forward to that. It's a fantastic race on Sunday. But the Jay Howard cars know how to lead at this racetrack. They've got a good setup. And of course, Evagoras Papasavas, as we know, has already tasted victory here at Mid-Ohio himself. Will it happen again here today? Essentially, if all goes well, we're less than 8 minutes away from seeing that as we're underway. Green flag flying and a fantastic jump for Papasavas as he gets a really good launch, getting a couple of car lengths into turn number 1. His teammate Costello holding on to second. He'll have to worry about Elliot Cox, but man, after the great start for Garcia, Cox may be thinking about having to defend from your point leader right now. Garcia doesn't do it. He'll stay on the gearbox. Giafoni right there as well. 2x2, a little bit further back. I think that was potentially Corey and Schwartz, the teammates for Pabst Racing. But look at the gap right now for Papasavas. The fight's going to happen further back as right now Giafoni with a run on Garcia. Giafoni, the Brazilian, thinking about trying to go. Look at this big move. He is inside. He is outside. Does he go deep on the brakes? He does. Garcia's going to hold him on the outside. Can Giafoni hold the speed at the top of the hill? No. Garcia able to clear him and come back across to the racetrack a little bit. So the battle really for 4th place right now. But right there as well is Brienza and Taylor. Not surprising. An exciting opening lap. Drivers further back playing nice as well.
And look at Papasavas. He's gotten away, man. He's built a gap now.
That's what you want. Hey, listen, fight behind me, please. Just go at it. And Costello doing a great job, even though Elliot Cox looking to potentially get himself to a race win. Already a podium for Elliot this year at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously a huge thing for him to be on the podium in the home race. He is an Indianapolis driver, but right now trying to take the Stars and Stripes to P3 here on an Independence Day weekend. Great run here for Cox, and that number 67 for Sarah Fisher-Hartman Racing Development. Into the pits again for the number 2 of Thomas Schrag. He still has fast lap of the race, and he was on the lead lap. Not sure what happened to Schrag. He still has fast lap, as I said, so it will be a pole position start provisionally right now for Schrag in race number 3, but he brings the car to a stop down at the pit of his team, VRD Racing. And again, we are working our way here with, again, just 3 laps to go. It'll be 2 to go this next time by. They're working their way down the back straight. There's the gap there for Evagoras Papasavas. As we said, the fight continuing further back. That's a move to the inside. I believe that is, I think, Max Taylor going to the inside, and Giafoni, book it. He gets through. Giafoni loses another spot. Taylor on the move with a great move to the inside. Same goes for Joey Brienza. He's going to try to line up Giafoni as well. He's got Armstrong and Corey right behind him. Hudson Schwartz right there now in the 10th position. Schwartz started 15th. He's finally up into the top 10. First-year driver here in USF2000. Back up out of Thunder Valley. And we'll have the lead for Papasavas, 0.8 of a second last time by. One driver dropping some dust. That always brings up the alertness of the drivers around. Coming out of turn number 13, Papasavas, the lead, was 0.8 of a second this time by. Now 1.2 seconds, Rusty Bell. Papasavas looking to try to get back to victory lane where he was in 2023.
He is running away at the front right now on that opening lap. Costello got it crossed up in turn 1 and lost most of that gap. And Cox almost got around him going into the keyhole turn, but that's the way it shakes out right now. Papasavas took that gap that he was given at turn 1 and has stretched it out right now. Continues to move away from the field. No challenge there. The 24 car is the one on the move right now as we see Garcia.
Yeah, right now Garcia has fallen back there a position. Max Taylor has moved up. He is now the number 4 position machine. Garcia back to 5th. Giafoni following right through them.
And here come the leaders down through turn number 9, but watching that for 4th, 5th. Contact further back. We've got several cars that are just banging off of each other into turn number 9. That looks like that was the Giafoni and Brienza. I think Quinn Armstrong may have been involved in that as well, yes. But they keep it straight.
Yeah, Steve, I think you're right. I think it was Armstrong. They had a lot of trouble coming over the hill there of turn number 7 and 8. Contact, couple of drivers going left, couple of drivers going right. Not sure what kind of damage will happen. Last lap here for Evagoras Papasavas, and just on that last lap, as the guys called, great run there for Max Taylor. A fantastic drive around Max Garcia. Hey, that's a position for points. Remember, Garcia's the point leader. Taylor in front of Garcia now makes up points on the lead. So a crucial pass there for Max Taylor. It only brings him to P4. The key thing is it's a points battle. And those two drivers are going to continue to go at it here in turn number 2, the keyhole. You can see Garcia does not want to give it up. He's right there with it. This could play out to the top 3 drivers a hold. Papasavas, Costello, and Cox with a decent gap between all 3 of those drivers. Taylor, though, in the middle of the fight. Big run down the straightaway. Check that out. What do we got here from Garcia? Not enough. Garcia's got the point lead. Don't throw this away. And that's the possibility here. You don't want it. He's done a great job so far, although the guys in front of him, like I said, like Papasavas and Taylor are those that are in the fight with him. But again, a good run here for Garcia. He can do it all again here tomorrow. But let's put the focus back where it's due right now. A fantastic start to the season from the driver from Ohio. Always looking forward to getting back to Mid-Ohio. You know the family is here right now this weekend. Everybody's here for this driver. Out of the carousel, he won his first race here in USF2000 last year in 2023. And once again, Evagoras Papasavas wins at Mid-Ohio. Race 2 victory in the Tadas Grand Prix for the J. Howard driver development pilot Evagoras Papasavas. Costello comes home in the 2nd spot. 3rd is Elliot Cox. 4th is Max Taylor. 5th is going to be Max Garcia. 6th, Joey Brienza. 7th, Nicholas Giafoni. 8th, Sam Corey. 9th, Ayrton Hauk. And 10th is Hudson Schwartz. Driver off, one off, Carson Eder off the track over in turn number 9. Last lap battle. I'm not sure who Eder was battling with at that point, but the 57 off in turn number 9, being told fighting it out with Jace Bacon. So Bacon and Eder potential contact over in turn number 9. The number 12, we were being told, Maxwell Jameson. Tom Michaels, is that the driver who's off in front of you over in turn number 5?
Well, the car I've got up over here is the 7th machine of Jace Bacon.
Oh, all right.
So that car not moving. That happened right there at the very end of the final lap of this race.
Okay, so I'm going to say Bacon and Eder did not get together then. Bacon was already out over in turn number 4, so another driver getting together with Eder over in turn number 9. That's what put him off in the gravel. We had initially been told it was potentially Jace Bacon, but whoever it was, another driver getting together with him, putting him off the track. It might have been the 12 then of Maxwell Jameson potentially, but that's it for that one. Up front, everything was clean and green, as we know. Sam Corey doing a good job at the very end to work his way forward. That was some issues actually with Quinn Armstrong. We'll come back to that in a second. There is your unofficial result. Evagoras Papasavas once again on top of the box here at Mid-Ohio. Jay Howard, driver development 1-2, with Michael Costello finishing in second, his second podium of the year. Elliot Cox, same, second podium, coming home in third. Max Taylor, fourth, and your point leader, Max Garcia, P5. Joey Brienza, a strong run to sixth spot. Nicholas Giaffoni in seventh position. Sam Corey, eighth. Ayrton Hauk, ninth, and Hudson Schwartz rounding out the top 10. A little bit of a shakeup there. The driver in the 12th spot, Quinn Armstrong, that was the battle between he and Corey. Quinn looks like he's dropped down to 12th position here, so move Quinn down to 12th. Lucas Facuri 11th, his teammate at D-Force Racing. Giovanni Cabrera stayed out of trouble all race long. He ends up in 13th. Maxwell Jamison 14th. Bacon, Eder, Golan, and Schrag cap off the 18 drivers. And maybe more importantly, a little side note here, Thomas Schrag ends up with the fast lap of the race, a 122.818. That's going to put him on the pole position, John, for race number 3. You had called it. Maybe that's the move to make. He'll be on the pole, but the driver of the day right now is going to get out of the car here momentarily. What a fantastic drive. Evagoras Papasavas has been waiting for this race win all year long. Every second place finish, every podium, and that's the emotion you expect out of a driver who has been dying for that race win. John, I'll let you call from here. I'll head down to Victory Lane. We got some trophies to hand out in USF 2000.
Sounds great, Rob. Thanks so much. Rob making his way down. We'll have Rob with us one more time today for the final race of the day as USF Pro 2000 finale. As you're getting a big hug from Papasavas and his dad celebrating down there in Victory Circle. Congratulations from the crew as well. A well-deserved victory. Lights to flag. Started this one on the pole and was never headed. And he and his teammate, Michael Costello, built up a big lead over third place prior to that late full course yellow. So a great job for Evagoras Papasavas to take his first win of the season. And he's going to be able to make up a little ground on Max Taylor in the battle for third. He was only 5 points behind him coming into this one. But Taylor did a great recovery job of his own, starting all the way back in 9th position and worked his way forward. Thanks to that late full course yellow, was able to make several passes after that restart and finish the day in 4th position. Max Garcia, the points leader, fading to 5th at the end of the day, but he's got a big bulge, so he'll be able to hang on to that lead. He had a 42-point margin coming into this race, and that certainly will be a little less than it was, but he's still going to be carrying that lead into the final round of the weekend coming up tomorrow morning. Again, it'll be our first race of the day tomorrow at 9:15 to put a period on the USF Championships for this Mid-Ohio 200 weekend. As next on the agenda here, for those of you at the track, will be Indy Next qualifying, as they're scheduled to take the track in about a half an hour, 2:05 the scheduled time. So we've got just a little pause built in here to allow for some track cleanup and also to clear the pit lane of all the crews from the USF 2000 drivers, as Rob Howden making his way down toward the Victory Circle. And he'll have the podium celebrations for our USF 2000 race winners. And again, congratulations to local driver from Loveland, Ohio, Evagoras Papasavas, taking the win here. First one of the season and his second win here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And congratulations to Jay Howard with a 1-2 finish here in the round number 2 of the weekend for the USF 2000 drivers. Indy Next. Sounds like Rob's mounting the podium. Let's send it down to him. Rob, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, John. Yeah, we'll get things underway here with the podium presentation for USF 2000, the second of the 3 races that we'll have here this weekend. One more tomorrow morning at 9:15 for these young drivers, just 3 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series, and a great run for them here today. Big battle. A driver knew he had the pace to work to the podium yesterday. He gets it done here today. Folks, finishing in 3rd spot in race number 2 for USF 2000 from Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development, Elliot Cox from Indianapolis. P3 here today, a great drive, big fighting throughout that race, and a strong run for Elliott to get himself back on the podium, the first podium since that race at the Indianapolis Raceway Road Course. Jay Howard Driver Development had a fantastic car here today. They end up going P1 and P2. Second place for the Jay Howard driver, Michael Costello. Couple of podiums in the last couple of races here for Michael. Excellent drive for him. But again, we talked to this driver throughout the season. He's been getting like the 4-5 podiums to start the season. That win just not quite there, but he was always looking forward to Mid-Ohio. He won here last year for the first time. Give it up for an Ohio driver winning in Mid-Ohio, Evagoras Papasavas. You were always looking for this race, all right? It was going to happen here. How does it feel? You get that first win of the season, and you win at the home track.
It feels great. After everything that I've been through throughout the season, so close. It's just, I can't put it into words. It's just amazing. It's unbelievable. I have to give all glory to God for this opportunity and this chance, following his plan, and it finally happened. And I'm out of words, to be honest. It's just, it's beautiful.
Can you look back at how good you were last year and how far you've come from that win last year, 1 year on?
Yeah, I think that first win last year was a big confidence boost for sure for the rest of the season, and also the beginning of this season as well, consistently finishing on the podium. So, this win, hopefully it means that, we can keep doing this for the rest of the season and make something good happen with the championship at the end.
I know lots of friends and family, everybody that supports you is here. Who do you want to thank today?
I want to thank my family with everything that, we've been through. It's unbelievable. And all my sponsors, Airs Elite Sports Vision, Tiger Natural Gas, RP Diamond, Bodywise, Mavro Matisse Paris, Adicoris, Epsilon, everyone. And then also the team. Jay and the team, they've done an unbelievable job. We've grown so much from last year and from the beginning of the season. It's amazing. I want to thank everyone in my life right now.
Congratulations. Up off on top of that podium. Hey, Ohio, how about this kid here, Evagoras Papasavas? Big winner here at Mid-Ohio. Even the family pet is happy right now. Evagoras Papasavas, tremendous job. Again, he was looking forward to Mid-Ohio. He had so many great finishes to start the season on the podium, 4 straight races, some ups and downs, even one yesterday, a spin in the opening lap of that wet race, but he storms back, shows the mental fortitude, and finds himself once again back on top of the podium here at Mid-Ohio with another race still to come. We're going to have a dry day tomorrow. Thomas Schrag, I believe, will be starting on the pole position. This race was actually a qualifying run as well, because everybody essentially faster than they were in their second fastest laps from Friday's qualifying. Car is out of the way, folks. Champagne awaits. Let's have some celebration. Evagoras, get yourself down there. Michael, Elliott, grab that champagne, grip it and rip it, and celebrate race number 2 and a win for Evagoras Papasavas. That wraps things up here from Victory Lane. The celebration continuing down here with the drivers in USF 2000. We'll be back later on this afternoon to cap off the weekend for the doubleheader for USF Pro 2000. Those drivers going at it to cap off the day today. And then we'll wrap everything up with the component here for the USF Pro Championships, all part of this event at Mid-Ohio tomorrow morning with the final race of a triple header for USF 2000. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning into the broadcast. Thanks to those of you around the racetrack. We'll see you at our autograph session at 2:20 at the souvenir stand in the middle of the paddock. We hope to see you there to meet the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, thank you so much, folks, for tuning in. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.